Great time to meet the Heat right now. They've won 6 of their last 8 over that stretch. Believe it or not, they have the #1 offense in the league by offensive rating. Bucks and Heat coming up, the first part of a doubleheader tonight here on NBA TV. Hey everybody, TGI Game Time Live presented by State Farm. Matt Weiner, Steve Smith, Carlos Boozer right over there getting set for a Friday night doubleheader. Who's in, who's out tonight? Dwayne Wade will play for the home Miami Heat tonight in game 1 of our doubleheader against the Milwaukee Bucks. One of the notable names out there. LeBron James will be managing his load tonight and not playing for the Lakers. And Chris Paul is out for rest as well. You know, you got to do that from time to time. You got to manage your load.
I got you, Matt.
And that's what happens. Load management. And you wind up sitting out. As for LeBron, he may not be playing tonight, but as always, he is a topic of conversation. You guys, I don't know if you caught it or not, but last week, Jeff Van Gundy, during a broadcast, suggested that for the better of the franchise, considering the big picture, the Lakers should at least consider trading LeBron James. He was immediately ridiculed, but that's what he said. Then, yesterday, Bleacher Report's Rick Bucher wrote that the Lakers, quote, contemplated moving James. And according to the report, Lakers owner Jeannie Buss was upset with LeBron's agent Rich Paul, thinking he had leaked the Lakers' interest in Anthony Davis. Guys, what sense, if any, to you would it make to trade LeBron James?
None, Matt.
This could be a short segment.
And the reason why is the players that you have in this league, if you want to say is better than LeBron, Kevin Durant, maybe at his age, and you start looking at maybe Anthony Davis, that's the guy you're trying to get to play with.
Right.
Steph and Clay, they're not going anywhere. I'm not saying they're better, but just as far as age. Kawhi, I don't know why would you try to trade for Kawhi. He'll be a free agent. So when we start to look at it, I don't know if there's a player or players out there that you would trade for LeBron James that would make the franchise better and be able to attract free agents to make this team, which we ultimately know the Los Angeles Lakers are trying to be a championship team. So I would say no, and I guess let me throw a rumor out. Kobe's coming back. Just going to throw things out there. So.
Well, Rick Bucher reported that they, quote, contemplated it, according to a source within the Lakers. That doesn't mean they seriously considered it. It doesn't mean they made a call. It means it crossed somebody's mind at some point during the season that they thought about what it would mean, what it would look like, and what the benefits would be to trading LeBron James.
Yeah, I think maybe even if it's true, maybe they thought about it for a second, then they woke up and said, what am I thinking? Because last summer they had a home run by getting LeBron to come there, and they signed a 4-year contract. You want to get him players around him to have a chance to win a championship. He's one of the best basketball players of all time. If you can partner him up with some other stars, you may add some more banners.
You know, I guess you could make a case that you could come up with a deal out there that would improve the team by trading LeBron James, but there are consequences in terms of future free agents. When you sign a guy to a 4-year contract, someone of his ilk, and then trade him during the following season, people tend to take notice of that sort of thing. The next time you're having a meeting with somebody and trying to sell them on a big deal, they may be thinking, the last guy who came through here and signed that big deal, he's no longer here anymore. People tend to notice that sort of thing.
And I also look, even with his age, man, he's still playing at a high level.
Yeah.
High level.
Absolutely. All right, we got Bucks Heat, third meeting of the season tonight in Miami. Heat have won 6 of their last 8 as they play their way toward the playoffs. They have a 1.5 lead on Orlando for the 8th spot. Dwayne Wade's swan song guy has been so far a pretty solid one. He's Miami's 3rd leading scorer, 2nd leading assist man. How good has he been here in his pre-retirement campaign?
I mean, he's been great, honestly. I think D-Wade's got a lot of legs up. I know it's his last go-around, but he's playing terrific, and his team's in the playoff hunt. He's scoring for them. He's making clutch plays down the stretch in 4 quarters for them. You see he's still playing almost 26 minutes a night. He's still got his patented moves, and for them, I mean, he's going to have a chance to disrupt somebody in the first round.
Yeah, and I look at it, man. He's just been fantastic. You look at these numbers, and we're not used to these numbers for Dwayne Wade, but for a guy that has played as long as he's played and still making the impact that he's making. What I love about it is the 4.2 assists. So that means he's seeing the floor. That means he's still drawing a double. That means he's still able to beat guys off the dribble and make the next play. this is a tough team, the Miami Heat, with the Dwayne Wade, his last dance, as he calls it. If they can get into the playoffs and you have him as a finisher, and I'm not saying it's a fourth-quarter finisher every night, but one game is close, 4 minutes left, you can still bet on Dwayne Wade to make the plays to win games. Might not score every trip down, but make the right plays.
Still has skills, obviously, and tons of savvy. Still got that killer pump fake, and people are still falling for it all these years later. And Miami's an interesting playoff team because of their depth. They have 10 players averaging 20 minutes a game for this season. And think about who's starting and who's coming off the bench. Wade's part of a bench unit that now includes Hassan Whiteside, who's coming off the bench, and Goran Dragic, who, remember, has only played 7 games since coming back from injury. That is not a normal 8th seed bench, which could potentially be the case for Miami against Milwaukee.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick Miami to beat, say, Milwaukee or even Toronto if they move up into the 7th spot. But they're going to be scrappy. They're going to fight. They're well coached by Spo, and obviously Pat Riley's over there. They got the great experience, but their bench with Hassan Whiteside and D. Wade and Dragic, that's a nice bench to have.
And I think also you add a Deion Waiters, a guy who can get hot, can score points, and play off of Dwayne Wade. Matt, you said it. Whiteside and Dragic and D. Wade, I can take that second unit versus most second unit in NBA and have an advantage, especially if he has his mind right.
Oh, yeah.
Whiteside and being able to block shots and putbacks and really engage, they could give problems to like the Milwaukee Bucks or the Toronto Raptors.
That's the way the teams are lined up right now. Obviously, Milwaukee or Miami could move up or potentially down over the last roughly month left in the season. Miami's changed around their starting lineup a little bit too, and they're 8-2 now with Josh Richardson, Justice Winslow, and Bam Adebayo as starters for this team. So a different-looking Miami group. The offense, as I mentioned, they play slow, so you're not putting up tons of points, but in terms of efficiency, they've been great lately.
Yeah, they're young, they're athletic, they got something to prove. Obviously they play well together, they got good cohesion, and that's great for a young group, I think. So for them, they may not all have playoff experience, but they got good playoff leaders in their locker room.
Yeah, and I think for Matt, you said it best. It's a possession game with the Miami Heat. And they have the type of guys that can grind out games and also just flat out defend. And when you're talking about some versatile guys that can guard from 2, 3, 4, James Johnson is one of those guys that is tough. You have D. Wade, who's tough. Goran Dragic, who's tough. Bam Adebayo. So Justice Winslow, they have some tough-minded guys that will get after it. And also on the other end, can score some points. Just won't run up and down. But in a half-court situation, that's playoff basketball. They can grind out some games.
And the pace, to me, is a huge thing. They're already playing at a playoff-style pace. They won't have to make that adjustment at all. They're already there as they fight to get into the postseason. All right, it's coming up in about an hour. Lots more to get to in the next 60 minutes or so. Before tip-off, Giannis Antetokounmpo has not had great success against the Heat. How Miami goes about guarding the Greek Freak when we come back. Continuing to build the perfect player, you picked Giannis Antetokounmpo as the best body/size in the NBA. Hard to argue. We're running out of parts, right? Pretty much have a whole player there.
Who has the best knees?
Who gets to sign this guy, by the way?
Yeah, who got the best knees?
But Giannis has been less than perfect against the Miami Heat this season, scoring just 21 points total in 2 games so far, including a season-low 9 in the Bucks' last visit to South Florida. And guys, it's not just this season. For his career, Giannis has his second lowest scoring average against a single opponent and second lowest offensive rating against a single opponent against the Miami Heat. So what are they doing, Booze, to keep him in check?
They do a great job of swarming him, protecting the paint. You see right here, he gets the ball on the elbow, a little isolation. Everybody looking at him. You got 5 guys with their eyes on Giannis. As he starts to make a move a little bit, takes a little crab dribble. You got 3 guys right there, great contest right there by Johnson, turnover. Then as we fast forward the tape, you see him do a little dribble handoff, catch it in the corner. Once he catches it, again, 5 guys with their eyes on Giannis. Everybody's paying attention to the guy with the ball. Little switch by D. Wade, double switch, swarm again, 4 guys in the paint, tries to kick it out, turnover again. They do a great job of on transition right here. Johnson gets in his way. Three more guys swarm him again, another turnover. They do a great job of swarming him when he gets the ball in the paint. Giannis leads the league in points in the paint. Spo does a great job of making sure they take care of this area right here, because if they do that, they have a greater chance of success against them, and they do it without fouling, which to me is more important.
It sounds like a simple concept, right? Keep them away from the rim, but so many teams are unable to do that.
Yeah.
I was voted best body on staff. I don't know if you guys were aware of that, but I can't play Giannis. So I don't know who is in this scenario, but take us through it.
It was a one-person vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But Booz, I think take us through what what they're doing and what you like to see. You want me to play D?
Yeah, you can play D.
I didn't play any D, but so I'm gonna try.
Yeah, I didn't play too much either, but so basically every time he takes a dribble anywhere in the paint, everybody's around Giannis. We got Matt right here, we got Smitty right here, everybody's here, and it's almost like they're daring him to make a pass out. They get deflections on the ball, and they're daring all these shooters to take a shot. So it's worked against him because he's only averaged 10.5 points a game against them this year. They're 1-1. We'll see if it works again tonight.
Well, for me is, Matt, and you know this, Booz. Matt, if I'm here and if I show shot, this is not a three-point shot. Everybody keeps falling in love with the line.
Right.
And if Booz raise up, I have an angle.
Right.
But if Booz doesn't contest this, or even I can't even lift Booz, I can't get Booz to jab. If Booz just stays there, and Matt, you're the small that's willing to come over here, and that's the reason why I like the Heat. The Tyler Johnsons, he's gone. But all their smalls, Richardson's, D-Wade, they're not afraid of that first hit. That first hit by Giannis is mostly small guys get out of the way, and then they're spinning. Yeah. If Booz was guarding me, and if Booz can get me to spin, and then there's Bam Adebayo and Whiteside, I think that's what's the problem for Giannis. I think the one thing is they're going to have to get him off the basketball. Yeah. Maybe have him post up his guy and have a live dribble. Now he's one dribble to go and shoot, and then it's going to come down, as you know. If guys can knock down the shots that are around
Take it out of his hand.
And I love what Bud has done, but can these guys knock it down in playoffs? I think Brogdon can. I think Middleton can. I'm not sure the Bledsoes can. I'm not even sure Brook Lopez can. The reason why, if I'm coaching against Brook Lopez, I'm not putting a 6'11", 7-foot guy on there. I can play Brook Lopez with a small because he's in the corners.
Jump shots.
And because he's just shooting jump shots.
Yeah.
Same with Mirotic, who's on that roster now. The other thing is, during the playoffs, when the scouting report has been drilled into a team's head, not many guys are going to go for that little pump fake out there because you want him to take that shot.
You want him to take that shot. And if he's making them, he's still not hurting you.
Right.
Because he does his damage so much in the paint and getting to that free throw line. Last but not least, Miami runs a little zone, too. It's like a little matchup zone where they're doing a good job of matching up. And they have a lot of guys, guys that can switch and defend 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, he'd have played a lot of zone this season. We'll see if Giannis does any better tonight in Miami.
I will say, though, Matt said he has the best body on staff.
I was voted. It was a vote.
Making sure.
There was a vote.
Okay.
It was an anonymous vote, I think, but it was a vote. Tuesday nights here on the network, a doubleheader on NBA TV. Lakers and Bucks at 8 Eastern Time, Pacers, Clippers. Coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern Time with the Auto Trader pregame. No one's seen the tally of that vote, but there was a vote.
Wasn't the perfect player either.